Hi, today I'd like to make a plea to Vision Engneering, which is the company that produces the Mantis Elite line of microscopes. The Mantis Elite line of microscopes is really, really cool compared to a lot of the traditional microscopes like the one I have, because rather than sitting like this and getting scoliosis and back pain and neck pain and headaches and fatigue, you look straight into it like this. So when you're soldering, instead of doing this, which is bullshit, you're doing this, which is natural. So just to show you a little bit of a picture of what that thing looks like, if I were to Google Mantis Elite microscope, I'm going to get you a picture here so that you can see what these things look like. It's a really cool microscope because, look, you just look into it like this. It's not something that you have to look down on. Let's see if I can get some more pictures of this thing. Yeah, see, the person is looking directly into it. Boo. Okay, you get the idea. You don't need me to look at the cached image. See this? You look straight into it. And then you compare that to me doing this. It just sucks. Now, this is an amazing microscope. It's not a microscope that I could afford when I just started out in the business. I mean, in the beginning, I was using, my eyes. I did everything with my eyes. Then I bought a $170 microscope. Then I bought a $400 microscope. Then I got this thing. And now I'm buying an Omano, OM99 that's coming so that I can give this one to my receptionist. That's, with the camera, is going to be a $1,700 microscope. And it's a great microscope, but it's not one that I want to use because it's not comfortable. You know why I can't use the Mantis, even though it's the most comfortable, beautiful microscope that I've ever seen in my life? I'm a YouTube content creator. I want to show you how to do this work, and that means that I need a quality camera. So it's not just about me being comfortable, as much as I'd like to be comfortable and buy that thing, because again, the money that Mantis costs, that's not a lot compared to what's sitting in my bank account right now. I don't mind buying that for my comfort. Again, there was a time when I would look at that, and that was like my life savings, and that was a very long time ago. I can afford a Mantis Elite microscope. Not a problem. The problem is that I like making YouTube content. I'm not just fixing boards for myself. I'm fixing them for you. I'm showing you where the broken vias are, where the broken traces are, what the corroded components look like. Here's what it looks like when the ISL 6259 is soldered properly. Here's what it looks like when you think it's soldered properly, but it actually has breaks in it because you haven't gone around the sides. I want to show you all these little things because those are the things that owned me. I was the one sitting there saying, fuck, how the hell am I supposed to solder this? Thinking it was right, then looking at it and noticing, oh, wait, it wasn't. I was the one who was trying to run a wire under a BGA chip and almost damn near crying after 3 days of failure until I got it right. I want to show you how to do that. And for me to show you how to do that, I need a really good camera. I don't want to have some bullshit where I have my camcorder and I'm doing this while I solder. That's not going to make any sense. I want to show you exactly what it is I'm seeing. And I want you to see it properly, which means I need a really good quality camera. And that's something that the Mantis Elite just does not have. So let me just show you a little bit on this camera. So this wasn't a cheap camera. So if I search for the camera that I have, which is the OCS HDMI NH1080, you can see that this is not a cheap camera. So this is the microscope that I'm actually upgrading to, the Omano OM99 JW11. This is one step above the 2300S that I have that I film with now that is also at Practical Board Repair School. I figured if I'm getting a new microscope for my receptionist, I could either get her something new or I could upgrade mine and give her my old crap, which is what I plan on doing. So look at this. If you want to get this camera along with it, let's see, that's the adapter. Let's see if there's any place here where they show you the actual price of the camera by itself. Nice try, Open Broadcaster. Come on, Time Warner. I know you can do it. Are they Are they really not selling this camera anymore? Hello? Oh, that sucks. I love this camera. You gotta be kidding me that they don't sell it anymore. Let's see if they have it on this one. Okay, well, for some reason they don't list this camera, which is amazing. They have this other one that's $775. But what I could tell you is that when I bought this camera, this thing was like $600 or $700. Because not only do you have to buy the camera, but you have to buy it with this little lens over here. And it's an amazing camera for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that it's full 1080p. It's not some bullshit little SD resolution camera. It's 1080p, which is not the best resolution in the world, but it's good enough for what we're doing. Secondly, it's 60 frames per second. So I record these videos here in 60 frames per second. I want you to see the motion. I want you to see how the solder melts. I want you to see how the chip drops. I want you to see everything in real time with no delay, which means it should be 60 frames per second. You could put up with 30, you can put up with 25, but 60 is ideal for this type of stuff. Thirdly,
it's HDMI out, which means that I can use it with Open Broadcaster. So I use Open Broadcaster to switch back and forth between my microscope camera, which is not plugged in right now, the screen capture. This is what makes my life easy. This software, so that I can talk while I'm recording. It's not like I have to use some secondary software where I hit record, it records to its own file. I have to try to sync it up with my dialogue. If I had to do that, I would not be sitting here producing videos. The only way that I can do open-ended troubleshooting while simultaneously producing videos is if I'm using software solutions that make it easy and where everything just works. And that's what Open Broadcaster does for me. It records in amazingly high quality to a format that Sony Vegas can edit. I can switch back and forth between the camera, the screen capture, and this. And a lot of those USB 2 and USB 3 cameras, a lot of those cameras use their own proprietary system for transporting the data. And the problem with that is that Open Broadcaster has no idea what's going on. With your computer webcam, Open Broadcaster gets that. But when you plug in some of these USB microscope cameras, they don't work with a lot of software like Open Broadcaster or software or VLC or any of these programs that can work with V4L2 or some type of direct show capture hardware. Doesn't work, so I have to use their software. I use their software. That means that I have to sync up the video with the audio and go through a 1-hour video and cut and paste little clips in. I'm never going to do that. And the third thing, above all, is that the quality of these cameras is fucking awful. So just to go over here, I can show you. And I'm not insulting the guy that made the video. Let me just get this clear. I'm not insulting the guy that made this video at all. He did a good job at showing the Mantis Elite camera. And I looked at this, and it's not very different to what I actually saw in person at a place where somebody has a Mantis. This thing is fucking awful. And again, the guy who did this video did a great job. He's showing you the software as it works, and it is like, I want you to see what happens when he moves the PC board. This is what really killed me. So let's just scroll over here to where he's moving the PC board around the screen. I want you to see what this looks like. Come on, Time Warner. I know you can chew gum and walk at the same time. Look at this. That's fucking awful. That's disgusting. That's garbage. And there's a reason that that's garbage. Again, it doesn't matter how many megapixels you count. Here's the thing, and here's where having a little knowledge of how technology works comes into play. So that's a USB 2 camera. The real-world bandwidth of USB 2 in the practical real world, when you plug it in, not the theoretical maximum, but what most people actually get out of it, you're lucky to get something around 37 megabytes a second in the real world. Now, when I record raw video, if I don't compress it, so here, I compress the video coming out of this camera to libx264 with FFmpeg, and I use the setting QP=1. Which is really good looking. But if I just record to raw video, what I get out of this is something around 250 megabytes a second. Now, what do you think the camera is doing to overcome the inherent limitations of USB 2? What it's doing is it's sodomizing and beating that video to shit inside that little camera before it sends it to your computer. So if I see USB 2, I know, because again, I've seen raw video coming out of this camera is 250 megabytes per second. What is that thing going to do when it's just about like 15% the bandwidth? It's going to destroy the video. And that's what it does. That's what you just saw. Again, if I go back here and I play that video, would you want to watch my motherboard repair videos? Tell me would you watch my videos if they look like this? Would you learn as much from the soldering? Look at it. It's fucking disgusting. And again, I want to pay. I want to spend money on a proper camera. I would very, very happily. You give me the Mantis Elite Pro with the camera. You charge me an extra $2,000 on top of that retail price for that setup. You tell you something, I need to pay an extra $2,000 to get a camera like this inside there. Deal. Here. Give me the contract. I'll write you a check. I'll be more than happy to take it. And I'll be more than happy to endorse that product because it will do what I ask. I make money off of these products. I'm more than happy to pay that money for them, but they have to be available. And I'll more than happily endorse it. I endorse products that I like. It's not about me getting paid to say this is good. I'll tell you when something is good or when something is shit. I'll more than happily endorse that product for free. But it has to exist. And the thing that sucks is that it doesn't exist. And I remember emailing Mantis about this, and they said, yeah, you should check out this one with the USB 2 camera. And I asked, so I can't try this thing. Can you give me some information about it? No response. I asked again. How about this? Can I pay for you to send me just a USB 2 camera out of this microscope? I will pay you whatever amount of money you see fit to just so I can play with it and see how it works without sending me the whole microscope. No response. So I finally decided to check out this YouTube video, and I saw that there was a YouTube video where somebody had done a review of it, and I thought, dear God, that looks awful.
And then I decided to email some people who actually owned Mantis camera microscopes, and I asked, do you mind if I take you out to lunch? And I just want to see this product before I use it for myself. And it really is that bad in the real world. It does look that crappy in the real world. And, I can't do that to my viewers. I am not going to subject you to that type of garbage in the video, nor am I going to subject you to my really, really garbage editing or me not having any dialogue along with it where I explain what I'm doing because it's too much work. But at the same time, I'm really getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of I notice it because, again, I sit here. Sometimes I sit here for an hour a day. Sometimes I sit here for 12 hours a day going through a stack. And I spend a lot of time doing nothing when I just get tired and fatigued of doing this. And you can do this so that you're looking straight into it. But still, look at my eyes on this. Look at my neck on the screen. I could either do this or I could do this. Well, what do you think is more comfortable? And it's something that I would like to have. But this is one of those things in tech where you know what you want. You're willing to spend the money to get what you want, but nobody is out there providing it. And I understand that realistically speaking, this is probably never going to happen. Realistically speaking, you need to have enough people who are willing to purchase a product or pay a premium for it to exist. And YouTube content creator on microsoldering and advanced diagnostics of populated circuit boards, like that's not a niche that I think any microscope manufacturer is looking to fill. But it would be really cool if they did, because then I wouldn't have to do this anymore. And again, I really hope that it doesn't get to a point where this is annoying enough that I just wind up selling out, no longer doing videos, and just buying one of those things, because I did get to try it. It is comfortable. It is way more comfortable than this. The reason I actually turned my entire office around is because there was this floor over here is actually elevated a tiny bit versus the rest of the floor. And the reason for that is because this was never intended to be a motherboard repair office. This was actually half shipping and receiving, half repairs, and this office was just supposed to be business. This office was never meant to have, 60, 70 open tickets, a Zaomao, and all this other stuff. So this was supposed to be a little raised platform, and that over there was supposed to be the regular floor, because this floor was really, really uneven. It was just total clusterfuck, like most New York City construction. So this was just an easy way to deal with it. Let's just make this section a little higher. Now what happened is that I decided to start fixing stuff in here, I changed the layout, which required that I put a little ramp between the two sections, and now there's a hole in the floor where that little ramp used to be between the two sections. That is really uncomfortable. So I was getting stuck in this hole in the floor like this. Now I'm stuck in that hole in the floor. And I'm looking, and my desk is elevated, so now I'm stuck in the hole in the floor like this. And then I have to bend over to do this. That is uncomfortable, to the point where I said, I'm not fixing anything today. I'm going to rearrange my entire office from scratch so I could be this much more comfortable. It is that important. And I really do believe that those Mantis Elite products improve the quality of life for anybody who is in this line of work. Anybody who is looking into a microscope for more than 20 seconds a day will have their lives improved by a Mantis Elite product. And if you're not somebody who is bound by the limitations of being a YouTube content creator, where again, you need something like this, you can't work with that piece of crap, then you should purchase or invest in one of those things. Because just the money you will make back on the repairs that you put off or don't do, just because you're not even aware subconsciously that you're putting them off because you have to do this all day, that will pay for it in and of itself. And my plea is that Vision Engneering will see this and see that it's worth it to create either an HDMI output camera that is really 60 frames per second, 1080p good quality, or a USB 3 camera that will work with Open Broadcaster that doesn't have whatever type of funky bullshit ass compression that this one has, where I can get a legitimately uncompressed, clean signal to the computer that Open Broadcaster will realize and work with. If that's possible, again, take the Mantis Elite Cam that you have, add $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to it, and I will buy it, and I will endorse it. Just produce it. Thank you.